That's En Vogue and Don't Let Go here on BBC Radio Humberside. So we're talking this morning about this being Valentine's weekend. Is your other half a Romeo or a Nomeo? Particularly, have you been given the most basic of present from your other half, or have they gone the entirely different direction, opposite direction, and gone with the big present? They've gone with the holiday, Mauritius, or maybe even the keys to a brand new car. Let's hear your story about love, proposals, romantic gestures this morning. 01482 22 5959, 01472 340 959. I've got a relationship expert with me in the studio this morning from the University of Hull. Actually, somebody who has just started to appear on a new Channel 5 show that started in the last few days, or this week certainly, the Great British Benefits Handout. Honey Lancaster-James is here. Nice to see you this morning.
James.
Good morning.
Morning.
Interesting week for you.
Who coined that phrase then? Romeo or Nomeo?
Me.
Did you come up with that?
Me.
Very good.
I was sitting in I produced the drive time show here, and I probably put less thought into that than I did my question for this morning.
Very good. I might take that back to one of my relationship psychology lectures.
Good Lord.
Are you a Romeo or a Nomeo?
This programme has become an academic thesis this morning. Nice to see you this morning.
And
Thank you for coming in. We've also got somebody who knows. Now, you're a lady of science, a lady of thought, and you are a university lecturer. Do you have time for shopping?
Well, I'm not a big shopper, I must confess. I am going shopping a bit later on today, but I'm not a big shopper. I'm one of these people who, if I've got something coming up and I need to do it, I will go and I will sort of probably splurge and buy, 10 outfits in a day, and then half of them will stay in the wardrobe, half of them I might get some use out of, and then I kind of put it off for 6 months until I have to go again. That's the kind of thing.
So we are talking this morning about particularly gift giving. Mm-hmm. So let's talk to a shopping expert this morning. Catherine Shuttleworth is Chief Executive of Savvy, which is a shopping and retail agency. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, James.
How are you this morning?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. So, as generally, I mean, you are, I can see on my phone system, you're speaking to us from West Yorkshire this morning. Generally, are we good as shoppers, men and women, when it comes to Valentine's Day?
Well, we're more interested in it than ever this year, so we're going to spend about £657 million this weekend on Valentine's Day.
I've spent 30 quid.
Well, there you are. That's what all adds up, doesn't it? To the big number.
If my half's listening, by the way.
We're really excited about Valentine's Day, and interestingly, in the north of Britain, we're more interested in it than the south.
Really?
Yeah, and we're going to spend more money than we did last year.
Can I just say, if my other half's listening, I said 30 quid. Obviously, I meant more than that.
You've given it away now,
genuinely,
James,
it was a little bit more. Catherine, from your point of view then, what's a no-no gift-giving then this weekend? What should people be avoiding when it comes to it?
Novelty socks. Both men and women don't want novelty socks when we ask them. And yet you see loads of them in the shops, don't you, with hearts on and I love you. The things that people want are flowers and chocolate. And they also want little gestures. That's the other thing they talk about. So things like breakfast in bed, really important tomorrow if you like your breakfast in bed. Not everybody does. And having a meal cooked for you. They're the things that are really, really important. And it's sometimes not the big things. It's the small things that matter. But don't buy socks is my big piece of advice.
I've got to sort out... We've not got a garden at the front of our house, but we've got a bit of gravel. Unfortunately, the cats use it as a toilet. If I tidied that up tomorrow, would that count as a romantic gesture?
No, I think that's a necessary task, isn't it, without delving into your own relationship.
They're not our cats, but we don't even have cats. I've got to sort that tomorrow. I mean, from your point of view, the science of it, as Catherine was saying, honey, the small things in life, the romantic gestures, does that play into what you
Well,
look
one
at?
thing that we do know from the science of relationships is that gift giving is actually a large part of maintaining a relationship. So there is quite a lot of research on that. So one of the ways to tell sort of, whether two people are engaged in a mutual relationship is about the exchange of things. Not always gifts, but sometimes it is gestural. It might be leaving little notes for each other. It might be, as you were saying, bringing back breakfast in bed. it's sort of going the extra mile, giving up your time and energy. So bringing someone breakfast in bed is that kind of saying, you know, I'm going to get up, I'm going to face the cold kitchen or whatever, and I'm going to do this for you and bring it to you. It's about the effort involved and sort of extending yourself for the other, and that's seen as very sort of positive exchange. So, you know, there are lots of different theories about relationships, about how we maintain them, and sort of social exchange theory says that one of the ways that we maintain something is a relationship is by exchanging things, whether it be, you know, traditional bought gifts or something else symbolic.
Catherine, what about the big gestures? The person that goes out and splashes out 30-odd, 40-odd thousand on a brand new car, a Range Rover, hands the keys over tomorrow morning in a card, that kind of thing. Is that seen as a bit de rigueur? Is that a little bit, well, actually that's a bit tacky and a bit over the top?
I think it's seen as a bit unusual, isn't it? For most of us would find that a bit strange. And also, you can't buy love, can you? I mean, I'm not an expert on relationships, but you can't buy love, and so that's why sometimes smaller things that somebody's really thought hard about in terms of giving a gift. And remember, the other thing is, don't forget to buy a card. You know, just making sure that you've bought a card, and a nice card that means something, can actually mean more than a great big gift. And how do you keep that up? You can't, you know, in the first throes of a romance, if you want to buy a Range Rover, that's fantastic, but I'm not sure you can carry that on through the rest of your life. And it's not very normal, is it, really? This
one from an anonymous texter says, my husband bought me a new lawnmower after the birth of our third child. Flowers are a thing of the past. What ladies, as two ladies of the world, I'll start with you, Catherine. What do you make of that? A lawnmower for a present after the birth of a child?
Well, it's a practical gift, isn't it? It's a gift that does a task. And I mean, I've heard fabulous gifts at Valentine's Day before that people have bought of a more practical nature. And if that's the way your relationship works, brilliant. If that made you laugh and you thought, you know, that's really funny. But if it wasn't what you were wanting and it hurt your feelings, it's all about knowing the person you're with, isn't it?
I think that's, yes, I absolutely agree. That's what's key. What's key about gift giving is that you are showing that you know the other person and that there's a personal element to the exchange. So, you know, if you know that your partner is a very practically minded person and they don't want you to spend money on, I don't know, flowers. I mean, some people are very against buying cut flowers, for example, you know, and to them they would feel that if you bought them flowers, you don't know them at all. So it's all about showing whether you know someone and getting it right per individual. There is no one kind of gift that fits all. It's got to be about the individual, really.
Catherine, did I hear correctly? Are you married to a man from Hull?
I am.
Would you be happy if he surprised you with the gift of chip spice tomorrow?
I'd be somewhat disappointed. But I think he knows me well enough, back to that point, not even to bother trying with that. But I think as well, you know, when you're in the starts of relationships, you know, I look back, I can remember being a teenager and having teddy bears bought for me and all those things. And at the time, they were the most important things and the most fantastic gifts. And it's about things. But yeah, if he bought me that, I think I'd give him short shrift.
Catherine, thank you for joining us on the programme. That's Catherine who's a retail and shopping expert from a company called Savvy. Honey's still here.
I can remember the first Valentine's Day gift I ever got.
Oh, was it?
From my first boyfriend. We had gone, it was when, do you remember Buster, the movie Buster with Phil Collins? Yeah. And we'd been to see that for our first date.
Well, shall we play something from Buster when we say goodbye? Shall we? We can get something off the soundtrack for you.
He got me the song on sort of LP the next day and like wrote me a lovely message, and that was for Valentine's Day. It was very romantic, I thought.
There will be people shouting at the radio now, listening to BBC Radio Humberside, saying it's all a load of commercial nonsense. Yeah. I'm not bothering. It's all about the shops making money.
Correct, yes. A lot of people do feel that way, and they feel kind of like manipulated into buying something or, you know, making a big show of it, when a lot, you know, some people have the view that they should show love spontaneously at any point, you know, in the year. However, you know, you need to make sure that you're on the same page as your partner on that one, because your partner might actually think it's very important. And, you know, girls particularly will chat about, you know, what did you get? Oh, I got this. And if you have to say, well, my partner thinks it's all a load of rubbish and I didn't get anything, then you know you really could be lucking out there.
If you were to do a scientific formula for this, as a science person as you are, as an academic certainly as you are, Honey, would you say there is no scientific formula for getting this right or wrong?
There is no scientific formula. I think it's all about the personal choice, and really it's about knowing your partner. And if you don't know, please do have the conversation. You know, don't just take a risk. Don't buy a lawnmower if your partner really wants chocolates and flowers, and don't buy flowers as if your partner really wants you to save your money and do something else.
This from Brenda in Bilton this morning says, talking about giving gifts, from my other half, I received a spade, being a lady, of course, and a wheelbarrow, complete with L plates. How romantic.
Oh, really? I think I'd get that spade and be tempted to... Do you know what I mean? Yeah, no, that wouldn't be my ideal gift, I must say.
Well, honey, nice to see you this morning.
And you.
As a university lecturer, obviously you meet people at the start of their lives or start of their adult lives. Is romance blossoming when it comes to university? Do you see young love in the halls at
Well,
the
it's
University
funny,
of Hull?
actually. It's funny you should ask that, because I was actually teaching this week. I run a module on relationship psychology. I was teaching this week about the science of attraction, and I was saying that it's always interesting as a lecturer standing at the front. You know, you've got, I don't know, 100, 200 students in front of you. You can always tell the students who like each other because they sort of engage in this mutual, you know, little eye contact. They sit that little bit closer, their elbows are touching, and you can always kind of see these little romances blossoming at the start of term. So it's quite nice to see that, really. And especially when you're doing relationship psychology, you can kind of put them on the spot and say, look, here's an example of a relationship possibly blossoming.
And just finally, you're on our telly box at the minute on Channel 5.
Yes, yeah.
On this new show. Tell me about it.
The Great British Benefits Handout. Yeah, it started on Tuesday. You can still watch it on Channel 5 Catch Up. It's a show all about basically 3 families who are taking part in a kind of unique social experiment. They're all families who have been living on benefits for a very, very long time and felt stuck in the benefit trap. And what's happened is Channel 5 have given them each a big lump sum of money, £26,000. Yes, it's a lot, and that's the equivalent of the national benefits cap. So that's why they've picked that amount. And basically, they are getting a lot of advice and a lot of support and encouragement. And the idea is that they've got a chance to turn their lives around and basically start a business or maybe gain employment. And it's a 4-part series lasting over 4 weeks. The next part, so that'll be episode 2, will be on Tuesday night. I'm not in that one myself. Lee Healy, who is a financial advisor, that particular episode focuses a lot on their finances and things, but then later in the series we kind of help them a little bit with some of their dilemmas and, you know, around setting up a business and getting employment.
Well, nice to see you this morning.
Lovely
Thank you for
to come
coming in.
in.
I've got an idea for a new show.
Okay.
James Hogarth is given £26,000, so let's see how he spends it.
Yeah, but you know, what would the interest be there, James? You'd probably still want to come into work,
nobody would be
and
interested.
be on the radio.
Actually, right, I would.
You
actually.
would,
Yeah, I can't lie. I can't lie and say I wouldn't be. So your first ever Valentine's Day present was?
It was A Groovy Kind of Love by Phil Collins.
You say you've done that to me, and I've got 2 hearts here. I've got
2 hearts.
Yeah, it's on the same soundtrack. But no, I tell you what we'll do. We'll swap it
2
around.
hearts is good. 2 hearts is
Would you like A Groovy Kind of Love or would you like 2 hearts? Which one would you like? I can give you either.
A bit of nostalgia, Groovy Kind of Love.
That's fine. Not a problem at all. We'll play that then in that case. Honey, nice to see you this morning. Thank you for coming in.
Nice to be here.